Family Guy.
Yeah. Almost up there with The Simpsons, right? So, I am going to do a quick demo with every one, just so you guys know what you're looking at. So the first thing, again, thermal imaging. You guys can all see me in that video. I should be orange, red, and yellow. So that means I'm the warmest thing inside the video. I don't have a whole team of ladies, and I can't say I'm the hottest thing in the video. So the wife doesn't like that line anyway, so I need to cut that one out. But at any rate, so everything around me should be somewhat pink or blue or black. Mostly blue or black, I'm guessing, because my skin temperature is going to be warmer than anything else out here, even though it's pretty muggy for us tonight. It's not as bad as last night, so thank y'all. Last night was bad. But anyway, so we're really looking for those cold spots, blue and black, to move on their own. Does that make sense? Again, we're going to have blue and black anyway. I want them to move intelligently. You want to try to keep a person in view at all times. Watch what happens when I get out of the viewfinder. So the orange, red, and yellow should go somewhere else because it's going to try to find that warm spot. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So this is already recording. It does record video and audio. Normally, when I used to ask where my skeptic was, they would get it. So that way I could hear their comments on me all night long, which was always super fun. And then I was like, I really don't feel like, listening to somebody else calling me a jerk. So I'm going to quit asking about the skeptics. So, Michael? Mm-hmm. We're going to go with you on this guy. Okay. You're going to hold that horizontal just like that all night long. Okay. The reason why is because it goes to YouTube, then back to my website, and YouTube doesn't like the flippies. Okay. You also have a red square on the left-hand side of your screen. Do you see it? Yep. That means it's recording. If it turns to a circle, let me know, but tap it again. That just means I have to splice some video together for you, but try your best not to. It's a whole lot easier when I don't have to do extra AV work. Let's get into those spirit boxes, shall we? Yeah. All right, so spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. So, cool thing about this one in particular, well, let me explain what they are, how they actually do that. They sweep through FM radio stations at a very quick rate. It's the white static noise, and then Zach Bagans tells you the bullshit he thinks he heard. Sorry about the language, but that's the only word for it. But we're going to be doing that in real time. Mine are set up a little bit different, though. Why? Because y'all aren't used to listening to this. There's different methods of using these. This one is slowed down. I want the radio chatter to come through. If we hear song lyrics, DJs, commercials, and you can make it out, I want to know what it is. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's going to be small little tidbits. It might be one word, it might be a whole phrase. So this one in particular records the entire session for us. How cool is that? No outside noise, even on mute. I don't know how it does it, but it's the reason why we have it. So when I'm telling stories, we're obviously going to keep spirit boxes down so I'm not screaming and shouting over top of them. And this one is perfectly fine because you're going to get the full recording back tomorrow morning with about 15 to 20, whether they're relevant or not, kind of clips of things that I found. If it is relevant, I will always explain why it's relevant to our location of where we were and give you the backlink of where I got the data. It's not because I said so, it's about Britannica.org said so. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm always about the truth. I'm never going to lie to you guys. I could tell you I'm in my 20s and you probably believe me, but I'm not. Come on. So Rosebud, only because you were super excited about this one, about spirit boxes in general. Yeah. You're going to go with this guy.
Oh my gosh.
You have one button to worry about. At the very top, you're going to feel a button and a wheel. The wheel is the volume. Okay. It's like an old style radio. Yeah. Okay. You're going to control the volume.
Like that.
That's it.
Great.
Certain places I might say let's kind of keep it down a little bit because we might speak some ponies. We're going to be near a residence, whatever the case might be. Okay. So I'll say when those places are, and I'll always give you the cue for all three spirit boxes. Spirit boxes up. Let's go. That's kind of the mentality.
Okay. So, wait. One question. What was the other button besides the volume?
The one that clicks back and forth, that's the power. You shut that off, you're going to have two recordings. Okay, so great. Just leave that one alone, worry about the wheel. Great. So this one in particular does the exact same things that Rosebuds does, only it doesn't record. It does go to two people, so that way they can verify the things that they're hearing. You guys also have one button to worry about. It is a button on the side of the ball speaker right here. Hold it up gently to get some volume up out of it, and then you turn it, hold it down. This is face up, just so you know. So you guys are actually going to listen to that together, so that way you guys can verify. Okay. You guys want to find the button real quick and test it out while I pull out the other one? On the right hand, yeah, you just hold it up gently. Got it. Oh, okay. Just like to make sure you get a feel for it before we get moving to the next device.
Will it stop on if it picks up something?
Not necessarily. Okay. It's going to keep going. Because otherwise it's just going to give us a full 30-second commercial, and we don't want the whole commercial. We want the one word out of the commercial.
Right.
Okay.
All right, next one we're going to go over, guys. This one's going to give us a word list. So it's going to give us a word from time to time where those 3 dots are in the center, and then it's going to save them all to a list. Last night's list was actually up to 95 terms.
Oh my God.
They had an over 2-hour tour because we were really stretching that last one, trying to get some more activity. I told you it was a little lighter than normal, so we were really stretching. I'm going to clear them out and start you guys off fresh. So again, the word in the center is, here's what I'm going to tell you about the list. So the list, it's going to go to you actually. The list is 80% bullshit. This thing's actually meant to be a game and a hoax. The game we're playing is, where's the word coming from? Is it coming from a spirit, a ghost, or is it coming from the app? Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
It's the other 5 to 20%. You're going to get the full list because sometimes words show up that might be related to you guys. And I don't know you guys like that. Somebody emailed me one day and said, hey, my cat's name is Radar. I'm like, you got to give me what tour you were on first. So I went and looked at their data, and it said Cat Radar. They were the ones, that particular spirit box was in their group, their party, but they didn't realize that it said that back to back. So again, it's stuff like that. I don't know you guys like that. So that's why I gave you the full list and my contact info. So if you find more, you just get in touch with me. So to the right of the word, you'll see a little calendar. Go ahead and tap it.
Yep,
A little white box. It's going to bring you the full list, and you'll be able to scroll through it, and there'll be a red X next to, I forget which side, I think it's the left-hand side. You just don't want to hit the red X's. You just want to hit that top right button that's a circle back to get back to your main screen. So that's it. You have 2 buttons. Fair enough? Look at that. I put both cell phones in the same group. Nice. All right, so enough with those. I got a special one for you.
Great.
How techie are you?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, cool. All right, so you also seem like you're pretty in tune with stuff, so I got one for you too. All right, so I'm just trying to figure out who's getting what. You got to remember, I'm the writer. You're all characters to me right now. So based on laughter, questions, that kind of thing, quietness. So, see, I already forgot your name.
Mia.
Mia's too quiet. She hasn't shouted with me. So I'm going to go, Mia said this, Mia said that. So EMF meters, they're an essential when you're doing ghost hunting. Okay, so this one is a great tool only because it is kind of sensitive. It is going to go off with all 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. This is a common one they use on television because of its sensitivity. It will pick up things like electrical wires, parking meters, cell phones if it's right on top of it, that kind of thing. No, you don't have to shut your cell phones off. Obviously, I handed 2 cell phones out. And not to mention, you all are going to be using electronic devices. If an electronic or man-made object is going to make this thing go off, it's going to go into a rhythm or a pulse, okay? So we don't want that. We want this thing to kind of go all over the place. When it goes nuts, it doesn't vibrate, doesn't make any noise. It's up to you to kind of be alert and kind of say, hey, Nick, this thing's going off. So that's actually, when it does go off and crazy like that, that's a good place for you guys to stop and ask questions on your spirit box. All right, now onto the newer devices. So I've had this guy for about 3 months now. It is called a Melmeter. So the Melmeter, are you familiar with this guy? Have you used one?
No.
Okay. So a Melmeter is going to have a EMF meter in it, just like Mia's. So that's your big numbers. Anything above 2.5, I need to know. Kind of want to get excited about that. Her device goes to 25 milligauss. I've seen yours spike out at 116. That tells you the bigger difference. The bottom of this is going to give us ambient temperature. I will shut it off probably after our first location and explain why once we get further into that. But I do want you to know that it does measure the ambient temperature based on this. In case Michael finds something on his camera, we can quickly turn it back on and find out where that cold spot's coming from. Fair enough? The last thing it does is it's got a REM pod built into it. What the hell is a REM pod? So this guy, if anything gets close to the antenna, it's going to go off. So basically it's creating an EMF field around the antenna, so if something breaks that EMF field, it's going to go crazy. The closer it gets, the higher the sound's going to go. Does that make sense? We don't always leave that on because it's super annoying on our audio pieces. So there'll be certain places, just like the Spirit Box cue, that's your cue to turn the REM pod on. For now, we're going to leave it off. I want you to leave this back flap open so I can show you how to work it even further. At first, I just want you to focus on those big numbers.
Okay.
Again, there's a lot that goes into that guy. Please don't think I forgot about you. You got my brand new device.
Whoa.
So, this is experimentation night number 3.
Cool.
So, what the heck do I have here?
Proton pack.
I know, right? You wouldn't be the first person I call it that.
It's going a little nuts.
It's going to.
Yeah.
I want it to. It's supposed to.
That's good.
Yes. Well, if you can hear stuff, it's good.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing we have, this is a point of view camera, kind of like a GoPro. So technically, I want you guys to all see that that screen is pretty much black. You can probably make me out a little bit in there.
Yeah.
Now we're going to turn on the full spectrum lighting. So basically, it's helping us to see things we can't see with the naked eye. Notice there's no light on my face when you look at me with your own eyes. Okay, does that make sense? So full spectrum lighting. I'm basically looking for your feedback on how to operate this guy. Is it going to record for us? It will, but we're going to limit it to 2 locations because the files that come out of this thing are ridiculous. Not to mention, I would probably go through about 10 batteries a night on record. So for most of the night, it's going to be a viewfinder. You're going to let me know how it feels holding it, how to play with the top lights, you know, turn them on and off, what's a better angle, could I change something to it? You're going to be my feedback person to let me know what's going on with it, and I'll let you know when to go ahead and record. What you need to know for now is the top switch only is your full spectrum. That shuts it off. This one gives us night vision. We don't like to go, I know, but here's the thing with night vision. I also have lasers. The other tours already don't really care for me at all. I already told you I own this company, and me flashing this guy just draws attention, and they're going, what the hell is that guy doing now? Like, it's already a thing, so I'm seeing certain things. But again, there's a little red dot here that controls that one. You can obviously see the 2 red dots right there, and then the top switch on this one.
Okay.
So you're going to basically play with it and tell me how it works. How's that sound? It's
Great.
set up for if you're going to hold it left-handed.
I'm going to hold it right-handed.
Hold it left. Are you right-handed?
I have a tremor in my left hand.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough.
But I can switch with somebody if you'd rather be a left-handed person.
This is good stuff. This is feedback. This is stuff I want to see how it goes. So we can even turn it further if you'd like. I'd rather you have it at that angle. So that's stuff I need to know.
Those are the lights. The button controls it.
Correct.
Okay, great.
And then the top switch only. You got it.
Cool.
So you're going to play with that guy all night and let me know how it goes. And I will follow up with everybody with all of their devices throughout the night. So, of course, questions, comments, concerns so far. Everybody's got tools in their hands. Look at this.
All
right, so the building behind me, of course, is haunted. That's the reason why we started here. So, this building, and it's the address that I gave you guys to meet me at. However, there are people that live upstairs, and they started complaining that too much noise over there in the corner, so I moved it over here into these weird trees. So, I know, right? So, that place used to be called Big John's. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. He used to sit in the back of the bar, and he used to tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they weren't old enough to drink, for the bartender to get them out. One night, 2 guys come in. Big John knows that they're not of age. He tells the bartender, get them the hell out of here. So they leave, pretty mad. They come back the next night, and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Not very cool. Big John sees what's going on. He starts pounding them into the floor. A couple of shots go off. He gets hit in the neck. Bullet ricochets, like basically just skims the side of his neck and lands in the wall. Big John gets up. He goes back to the bar and he tells the bartender to get him another beer, not a water, and he gets 2 guys on the ground, an ambulance. So what's haunting the place? Nobody died in that story, right?
Right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did someone bleed to death, or did the guys on the floor?
Was Big John dead before he... Okay.
It's a bullet hole. It's still here. It's still in the building. Allegedly. I say allegedly because they're obviously working on it right now. I'll have to go back in and see if it's actually still there. People that sit in the front of the bar, where the bullet hole is, tend to get a little queasy, headaches, nauseous, those kind of light symptoms. I bring this story up on purpose, which is one of the reasons why I started here. I told you this isn't your typical ghost tour. This is a heated warning. Anybody starts to feel any of those symptoms, I need you guys to tell me immediately. It's a very big deal. I won't say that people haven't passed out from this tour, and I will also say that psychics look at me on this tour and say I'm not going any further. So, again, I'm not going to say that stuff has happened, or stuff hasn't happened, but I will say I've been good for about a year since I told you all about adding stuff to my bag. So, we've been pretty solid. Nothing has happened for about a year now. So, let's get our minds off our own health. So, big earthquake here in 1886. That's happy, right? So, it's weird for us because this is the East Coast. You guys all technically live on the East Coast. We don't get earthquakes. So a piece of the mantle that's in the middle of the building also goes around to the front of the building, and a piece of it broke off and struck somebody in the back of the head and killed him. They say you could see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. I say all of this allegedly because I have no proof. It's just a great segue story, so you're not thinking about getting sick on my tour, right? All right, are you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's go this way.
Okay.
You go first. I don't want to go first.
You guys lightened up my bag, thank you. Around a little bit now.
I know how to use it later. Because of in Phasmophobia, my friends always get the cool things. They're like, "Yeah, you go get the EMF detector." Okay, thanks, guys.
Have fun. You guys fun. Is that a great try? Like a story, nothing happening. You know what I mean? That's you guys seem like a great lab. All right. So first off, you guys are gonna find that I love parking lots. Okay, so if you don't know where to park by the time you're done with me, I'm sorry, but that's kind of the nature of it. This is the big red barn lot. This is where we keep the horses for the carriage runs. Okay, you guys can probably smell it like me. Okay, I'm out here 6 nights a week. I'm immune to it. So the only history that's here is that this is where we've had horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. Okay? So let's talk about spirit boxes. Spirit boxes, this is not TV. This is not, is somebody here? If they answer no, guess what? Somebody's here. So they answered you, right? So we're going to stay away from yes and no questions all night long. If you're thinking about a yes or no question, trust me, I'll catch it. It's my job. But second off, there's always a way to reword it. I'm the English guy, just ask. How can I ask if somebody's here? Say if somebody's with me, tell me your name, right? There's always a way to reword it, okay? So I'm also always going to give you keywords with your spirit boxes. Over there, it was 1947 New York Giants, because that's who Big John played for, right? Over here, I told you about delivery horses that deliver milk and eggs. So let's talk about those questions again. This is your level 1. This entire time with me, guys, should be a ghost hunting 101 type course. This is level 1. It's going to be nice and easy. We're only going to spend hopefully 5 minutes here. In the event somebody's here, please tell me what color the barn is, and you're going to listen for the color red. Okay? Obviously on your 3 spirit boxes that we have, one in every group. In the event you don't hear the color red, it's okay. We might be trying to give you a clue to give you the color red, like something specifically red, like blood, heart, or fire truck. When I say all 3 of those things, you automatically think of something specifically red. It's not going to be shirt, tennis shoes, because those things can be multicolored. These 3 things are specifically that color of red, right? So, again, you might not get an answer at all to that question. Then you can go ahead and open it up. Ask 2 or 3 or 4 tries. Of course, keep trying. But what's inside the barn? Now we have horses. We have draft horses. They're animals. The draft is their breed, by the way. They were delivery horses that delivered milk and eggs. What's another word for milk and eggs? Protein and calcium. I bring that up because it happens here often. I know it sounds weird, but I get the words protein and calcium here. So you just never know what's going to show up. And anything related to a horse, stable, hay, tail. You know, these are all things that are pretty relatable to horses. So this is about putting the clues together. It's not going to be a, hi, my name's Joe, and I play for the New York Giants. You know, it's going to be those, you know, we got to put this stuff together. They don't have the capacity to be able to do it for us. So also keep in mind, if you're getting double-digit numbers, phone numbers on commercials, you might hear 4 numbers. If those 4 numbers, 2 out of the 4 match up to a jersey number or a specific year or somebody's birthday, I'm going to find it. Do I know everything about every single story? Hell no. I learn stuff every morning when I'm going through your guys' data. Like, holy crap, that one was good. The number 5 actually meant something there. So, also, I told you before, I don't get excited about one thing coming through. If somebody's birthday comes through or somebody's jersey number, I need their name too. I'm not going to say, okay, John's number was this. I'm not going to give that to you. Just to see if you guys actually get it. I need the name John. I need something along those lines. Will I put it in your notes that this was his jersey number? I sure will. Am I going to be super excited about it? Not till I hear his name or something else relatable to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so spirit boxes. You guys, we're going to stay within the confines of the slot. Again, I'm going to bounce around with every one of you. I'm going to start off, I think you guys on the cameras pretty much have it down, right? So I think really the only...
I do have a follow-up question. You said
Sure.
you want to keep... Do I want the crosshair on somebody so that it's not
No, they just need to stay in.
Just as long as I've got a
Right.
person in the foreground.
And you don't need to worry about the timer either, because it'll probably shift to the side and stop and whatever. I only worry about that square.
Okay.
So as long as that square is there, you're gravy.
Yeah.
I think the only person I need to work with is Patricia.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's I was like, hang on, did I get the name wrong? But yeah, I think you're the only person that I want to work with, because I think both cameras, like you guys asked enough questions where you guys can actually get going, and then I'm going to kind of bounce around with everybody else to kind of see, and we're getting stuff. See, Mia, you're supposed to speak up. You're getting a little bit, you get a little bit of a rhythm, but again, there's nothing underneath you. Like, we're standing on a sewer line. Like, there's nothing here. There's no electrical lines underneath us. There's no reason for that thing to be going off. So, what's the reading that you have on yours?
0, 0.
0, 0. Okay.
But walking up here, I had a 0.7, like right there at the entrance of the parking lot.
Okay.
And then it went
Pretty-
down from there.
Pretty close to the sidewalk, where the parking meters are.
Right, actually, right as we were walking into the parking lot right there. So yeah.
So
it
on
was
this side
probably-
of the street, there's parking meters.
Yeah.
Our parking meter electrical lines run underneath the sidewalks.
Oh, well, that was.
All right, so I just want to work with her on the REM pod, and then I'll bounce around with all of you and show you a little bit more, and then we'll kind of get going. You can go ahead and turn up the spirit box.
Okay.
If you're the loud spirit box is the ones that's actually making noise, so the two of you, if you're going to get close to that side of the barn, there's no glass panes in those windows. They can hear you. They don't like the white noise. Just keep it audible to you only.
Okay.
You and the other person listening.
Okay.
Fair enough? Yeah. All right. So I want to take a look at your word list in a moment once I'm done here. So let's go ahead and shut that temperature off now that you've got a few minutes to see how it can go to 0.7 back to 0. Okay, so we're going to hold this button down right here. Make that bottom button go away. So what I
Word
just did
juice.
is I took all the battery juice.
Don't get it near it.
Split into two things. I now have to
back
plug
up.
into that EMF.
Hers is going pretty good right now.
Yeah, he said that. I forgot the exact wording, but like if it's a constant pattern, something about that. So like if it keeps going off over and over again, that's probably nothing. The highest it can go to is like that mark right over here.
Right there, stop.
No. Then what do you mean? By 10. That's not down.
You still getting readings?
Am I still getting readings? Yeah.
Was it better over there than over here?
Yeah. It's.
Let's go over there. Let's ask some questions. Come over here. KERRI. Just rounding off. Well, come over here. There we go. Come here.
The red is flickering.
Get your word box over here and see if we can get a word or something. Can you give us a word? Can you give us a color?
Those are yes/no questions. What color
Okay.
is the
That's not a
barn?
yes/no question.
Well, can you give us a color? We're going to say yes or no.
This is true.
Yeah. What color is the barn?
Say it a bit louder into the thing.
What is your favorite color?
And he said keep trying. So
Efficiency, Mike.
that's not a color.
I wonder if that's something about the horses delivering. What did the horses deliver?
Whoa.
Is it going off?
She's got some.
Take a look at your word list, see what we
Okay.
got going on. All per the 8. Oh, we got Big.
What is that?
Big John.
Big John.
Oh, Big John.
I'll take it.
I'll take
So-
it too.
So, also kind of keep in mind, and I don't know if you're fans of the shows or not, but they normally only have like one device out at a time. You know,
Right.
I have most of my kit out in this field right now. I want your answers, if you're asking questions, can go anywhere. They can go to his audio, my audio, or the 3 spirit boxes. That's 5 points of reference. That's why I say I want to try to capture more than just one thing. This says big, awesome. I'm excited. I'm waiting for John or something, or his number, something else related to him. It could say bar for all I know. As long as it's related to him, I'm good.
Okay.
Like that's legit stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, that's exciting.
That
The
is
fact that we're getting it right here,
Yeah.
and we're this close, it's good.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you got the gist of how this guy works. You're kind of like, you guys need to. She's your lead.
Yeah.
So
I know we're following her when it
I don't know what
starts to go
the
off.
dynamic is here,
Yeah.
but she looks like the youngest one. No offense.
She is.
Come on now.
But she's your lead. She's going to be the one to tell you when to stop and to find those hot spots.
Okay.
Any other questions on your thermal? What you got going on?
Just keep somebody in the
I am gonna
foreground. If I see any dark spots moving like they've got intelligence, let you know.
Okay. And the next location, I have some evidence that I'm going to show you.
Okay.
So you have a little bit better gist of what to look for.
Okay.
So let me follow up with the other spirit box and we'll move on.
Okay. Someone's name is Ida.
Idaho. We're not in Idaho.
No, it's Ida. That's a name.
I know, Mom. I was
I
making a
I
joke.
think we're following these people.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
What is in the barn? What was Big John's number?
Are you happy?
It's a yes/no
That's a
question.
yes/no question. Sorry. Just keep doing those.
Okay, right here. It's not. Oh,
Where did it
Just
stop?
one.
Where was it?
it's just that's just what it's always like. It's like the default.
Oh, I thought you meant.
Now it's going.
Don't hold it near the equipment.
Here's a real history.
What did you say?
I'm taking where they have heard this so far, and with that recording, I'm listening for things that aren't common things. Like we have a radio commercial called Diamonds Direct. It comes through probably 50 times in a 90-minute time period. I'm going to ignore every Diamonds Direct commercial. I'm going to ignore every word that says Charleston. We're listening to Charleston radio stations. I'm probably going to ignore the word rock, country, anything that deals with music specifically.
Right.
When something pops up that's kind of weird and out of the ordinary, like I'm trying to think of something I heard yesterday. I heard the words "the Bible" yesterday come through loud and clear on your recording. That to me isn't something you would normally hear on a radio station.
Yeah.
Is that you?
It might have been. I was looking
Okay.
at it. It might have been.
All right. Any other words out of you before we move on?
This says Ida.
Ida. Could
Is
be
that
our
Ida in the
horse's
story?
name.
Oh.
And now she's kicking.
That's Ida.
All right, let's go learn some real history instead of talking to ponies.
She keeps on setting it off.
So I don't become toast.
One of the horses' name is Fierce.
Keep an eye on that meter.
I know. Well, I mean, it's near Mom's thing, so it's not going to go off.
You didn't actually hear the words. All right, again, side of Charleston. I have to laugh because the only bad reviews I have online are because people say that I took them to parking lots hoping and praying and not really getting into a further detailed story. With this location, I don't give you all the details on purpose because I want to see what's going to come up out of your spirit boxes. Some things might come up that you don't know that part of the story of. It might be part of that person's life. You had no idea it was relative. That's why it's important to tell me everything you think you heard. I'll find out if it's relevant, or I might know off the top of my head. 50-50 shot. So, welcome to the Pinckney Mansion site. So, there used to be a mansion here, believe it or not. It's a beautiful parking lot right now, filled with gravel. Just so you guys know, this is the only entrance and exit. People will come in. It is Sunday night. They will come in looking for a parking spot if they couldn't find a meter, but it's doubtful because this lot's pretty expensive. So Saturday night, yeah, a little bit more important. So, and this is also a location where we're going to record after I'm done telling the story. It doesn't record audio because it's in a waterproof box, so I'll set the recording up, or you can probably figure out where that is. It's on the top of the camera. Once we're done telling the story here. So what's so important about this place? Eliza and Charles Pinckney used to live here. Their mansion faced the front on East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with that tree on the left over there and came all the way across. And then the servant quarters were in the back of the property. So Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles and they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses in case you lost count. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a pretty big deal for us. Nobody is going to talk about this place because there's nothing to see. But I hate politics, and you guys are on vacation. Nobody wants to talk politics, so we're going to move on. And Liza's way cooler anyway. Let's talk about the mom. So this is colonial times, 1700s. She marries Charles at a young age. I'm not going to give you the age because this is not like over there where it's what color is George Washington's white horse, right? You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes, fingers crossed. She married Charles at a young age. What I will tell you is that Charles was over double her age. So if you can find out what those numbers are, that'd be great. But she married him because her father over in England thought he was dying, wanted all of his kids home, wanted to see him one last time. Eliza didn't want to make the trip. She also didn't believe that he was dying. So she got married and said, Dad, I'm staying here. Now, this is 1742, 1743 roughly. Don't quote me. But 1740s. So it didn't give her citizenship. There's no such thing yet. So it just said, hey, Dad, not going anywhere. I don't think you're dying. And guess what? She was right. George didn't die right away. So after some time, Dad starts sending gifts over to Eliza. One of those gifts happens to be the plant indigo. You guys have all been here for at least a day. You've probably seen the term indigo in your drive into town somewhere. I can almost guarantee it. Indigo was already here. It's a plant that makes blue dye, that makes our blue jeans blue. Nobody here is wearing it. Fantastic. You got blue jeans on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Michael's got blue jeans on. So he's wearing indigo right now. That's how we still use it. So it's a very important thing because it was already here. Eliza's just the one who had to learn from her Gullah slaves on how to cultivate it in our weird temperatures. So New Yorkers, it does get cold out here, believe it or not. So January, February, you're not keeping plants alive. It's cold. So she learned from them how to keep it going, and then she moved it over to Snee Farm in Mount Pleasant, which is about 20 minutes north of here. They had a lot of property, these Pinckneys. They had them pretty rich. So then she calls Dad up and says, hey, I got to sell this stuff. It's going to make us a lot of money. So I want you to think of the color royal blue. That's where this came from, indigo. Think of the Civil War. The Northerners wore blue coats. That's indigo. The Confederates wore gray coats. Still indigo, just less of it. So again, indigo has stood the test of time, basically. So she was basically a businesswoman in the middle of the 1700s, which is absolutely unheard of. So pretty big deal for us here in the 13 colonies because the rice plantations pretty much went to hell in a handbasket. Now, I'm just touching the,
What went to hell in a handbasket?
the rice plantations. They were starting to go downhill. They weren't as expensive anymore, which is basically from here all the way up to the Myrtle Beach area and probably even further is basically covered in rice plantations.
Yeah.
So that was South Carolina's way of contributing to the colonies. But when that started to go downhill because it was had such an abundance of it, indigo kind of helped bring in the profits.
Okay.
So I'm just touching the iceberg on what she's done for these colonies, by the way. So we're going to talk about some of the weird facts about Eliza. She was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So, kind of a crappy move on Charles's part, but you just gotta blink.
Yeah, the numbers are going crazy.
All over the place, and her EMF's going crazy too. Both Elizas go by their maiden name, the name they had before they were married. So, they both start with the letter L. That's all I'm going to tell you. So, if you want to find out what her maiden name was, go right ahead. You can ask about the ages of when she married Charles. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. So, she's pretty open. These are all questions I've had answered in the past. How old she was, where did she die, what did she die from, where is she buried, and what U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral. A president carried her to her grave as an honor, if that tells you anything. So, let's see, you can ask what happened with the mansion. It's obviously not here anymore. You can ask when that tragedy happened. I'll give you that much. It was a tragedy. If you're going to ask about the children, because you know she had some, I already told you she had at least one son named Charles, tread lightly. There's a tragedy in there. She doesn't like to talk about it if we poke the bear. If she wants to talk about it on her own, I will know based on what you guys are telling me on your spirit boxes. So, you know, maybe ask how many kids she had, how many boys, how many girls, maybe their names, leave it alone. Like, literally all activity will stop if we're getting a lot of activity. It will literally shut down. It's crazy. I've seen it dozens of times. Somebody gets too curious and says, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Because they Googled something behind my back and wanted to see what would happen, and they ruined the tour. I just hate to say it like that, but they did. I'll tell you about it before we leave, but for now, leave it alone. I think that should be enough for you guys.
Is this part of the mansion right here, or was this just built?
This wall was actually part of a bar that was here probably 15 years ago.
Okay.
And that bar was called Molly Darcy's. It was an Irish bar. And with Eliza being English, that probably pissed her off. It was an Irish bar here. So, just put it out there. We'll kind of see what happens now that we brought that up. But yeah, this is a place where you guys are kind of, I'm going to bounce around with you guys, but we will spend like 10 minutes here. So go ahead and start your recording, Andy. You got to hold that button down until you'll see.
Are we allowed to ask about her dad?
You can. Okay. Those questions I give you, that's just inspiration. If you have something else that I can prove, or I know off the top of my head, great. Questions that I can prove are not questions about how she felt about her marriage, are not how she dealt with her slaves. These are not things I can prove. Okay. Numbers, dates, names, those are things I can prove. That's what we're after. Tragedies, yeah, I can prove that stuff too, but it's not about feelings and emotions. Notice I'm not putting any of my feelings, like, I can feel yours here, guys. Like, I'm not going to be doing that kind of stuff with you. That's not what this is. So, have some fun, spread out. I'm going to check you guys in as you guys get started from all of the websites you guys bought tickets from. So give me just a minute and I'll start bouncing around. Definitely turn those spirit boxes up loud and proud. And let's get those questions asked. Do you have anything before I check you guys in? Anything that popped up?
She's going pretty wild right there.
It's not. No, not that. That's not that bad. If it's going to there, then we can say something about it. Oh.
There we go.
Okay, so I guess you guys are just going to stay put because we're getting activity right here.
What are those?
Conspiracy
I saw mirror.
and mirror, yeah.
So mirror is actually relatable to another, what I call a legend around town. And it's literally 2 blocks from here. So depending on what else you get out of that, I'll see if it ties, because at times we might get Eliza's maiden name half an hour after we leave.
Oh, wow.
It happens. We're not going far. We're
Right.
literally only walking from start to finish. It's 0.6 miles. And I do that on purpose because sometimes evidence creeps through because they had to find the right word or the right frequency to get to us. It's not uncommon, so
Right.
we'll see what happens. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if something else pops up with that mirror term.
Okay.
So I'll let
Yeah.
you know
Okay.
if I hear anything or if anybody tells me anything.
Okay.
So what I told Patricia is her device has one of those built in. Yours has a max of 25. Hers goes all the way up to 116. Like, that I've seen so far. Like, that's the highest I've seen it.
Right.
I've heard that they go higher. I just don't have that evidence yet. So, again, with yours going off that way, and again, they've never done an archaeological dig here. And what's great is I can talk to the 3 of you because none of you have anything that needs any kind of noise that you have to listen to. But they've never done a dig here. So one of the things that the wife and I are thinking about is we want to open a shop regardless, so we can sell equipment, books on the paranormal, and have a haunted hotel upstairs.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
What if we rebuilt the Pinckney Mansion?
That'd be pretty cool.
Wow.
So we know that there hasn't been a dig here, and I want the artifacts to be part of each
Yeah.
room, so that way the energy's still there, and whatever's attached to it. I hate using the term energy because it's so generic, but whatever's attached to it, like, bring it into the house.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of have that as the shot. You know, so my wife, she's in photography and graphic design, so she does a lot for me. She designed the logo from scratch. She does all the book covers, that kind of stuff. So like, it's an in-house publishing thing that we have going on, but we also have years and decades of management behind us, so we can run a shop. I obviously run a business.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of, can I bring on one more guy, then grow it from there. But yeah, we will have a shop down here probably within 5 years.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Come back.
Well, the hotel's not going to be cheap. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
What's going
I
to
know
happen is
that.
everybody's going to have a kit. They're going to get an hour with me to be trained on it and show them where all the cameras are set up inside their room. They're going to get all the data back. My hotel manager will have to know how to relay all of that stuff back to them. Like, this is basically an AV job. Tomorrow morning, when I'm going through this stuff, I upload it tonight after we part ways, and tomorrow morning, that way when I get up, it's all about the review.
Right.
So that way, it takes me 2, 3s, depending on how much is there, or if I have trouble. If we have more than one video, it takes a little bit longer. The other video we're putting together, like, that one's a little weird because the files are giant because of the style of the camera.
Right.
So, but yeah, that is probably my coolest device yet so far. Does it capture something every night? It doesn't, but I need to have it at the ready.
Yeah.
Right.
And everybody usually wants that, and now they're all fighting over that one because I just got it. Like,
What's
not-
new?
Yeah.
It's the new toy, yeah.
Well, I have it listed as new on all the websites and all that stuff. So everyone's asking me questions online. You know, have you caught anything with it yet? You know, my paranormal friends, or how's that going for you? I'm like, it's going. It's a learning curve.
Right.
Until I find evidence from it, to me, it's just an extra piece of data for you guys to go through when I've already skimmed it once.
Right.
So at this point, it's not truly anything yet, but that thing's going for sure. Yeah.
You got any new words?
Oh, it's, yeah.
You're the ghost whisperer.
Find out. Get some
Yeah,
more words.
yeah. That's a secret. I'll never tell. XOXO.
You got any new words? Unusual?
Unusual.
She got mirror a while ago.
Conspiracy.
That was.
Hi, Eliza.
Can you tell us how old you were when you got married?
Don't follow me though, so it'll go off.
Okay. I will follow you. I guess smuggle them on. How many children did you have? I'm a mama too. I have 3.
Someone hold my hand up just after so I can drink a swig of coffee. I'm tired. Just hold it.
What happened to your mansion?
I'm just thirsty.
I would have loved to seen it. My Fitbit keeps on going off. And I don't know why.
I hope I close this all the way because it's going back in the bag. I hope so. Like how?
Okay, maybe.
It's going off pretty good. Well, I mean, we're in a... I don't know.
We can walk over there near where her garden was. Okay.
If
Yeah,
you're here
follow
with
me.
us,
Peasants.
feel free to follow us around.
I heard that. That's funny.
What did she say?
She called us peasants.
Peasants?
You're grounded. I love you.
Wait, what?
So, Eliza, you had a garden.
Is it going off?
To grow in your garden. maybe Lucas was your maiden name. It started with an L.
Okay.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Eliza Lucas. Or
Maybe.
maybe.
Well, if you're here, this may sound a little personal, but we kind of had a scare recently, and we're a little freaked out, and I guess maybe we're doing this because, I don't know, if you can figure out if there's something more than what's here, it would, I don't know, make us less scared, or I don't know. If you could tell us anything, you probably understand that feeling.
Oh yeah, it's going off. Constantly ask those questions when we're in areas that it goes off on like EMF 4 or 5. So like when
How old were you when you got married?
His battery just drained.
Oh no.
No, that's a ghost sign.
Oh.
I have a bug bed on my stomach too. Oh,
I'm gonna do, hold on a second. Everybody check the charges on your phone real quick.
Oh.
okay.
What's your battery percentage? That's a good way to measure.
Mine is
Alright.
58%.
Mine was
You
at
keep it to yourself, so it's,
No,
but
sorry.
just keep an eye on it every now and then. Check it, see if it's dropped drastically.
oh yeah.
Oh wow, really?
On the YouTubes.
What?
Billion.
Well,
I
they
wonder-
were rich.
yeah. I bet you were a billionaire from what was it that you sold again, or created and made and sold to make your billion?
I remember what it is. I'm not gonna say it though, but I remember.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Sorry, I know these questions are probably very, I don't know, annoying,
Personal.
or
Yeah, and annoying.
they're very analytical. It's just so that we can pinpoint known facts. This little box in her hand, it'll say random stuff. But if we can pick out the certain words that are not random. She's going off pretty
What
good
happened
over
to
there.
your beautiful mansion?
She's going off pretty good over there.
Okay. You wanna go there?
You can go over there and ask some questions.
Do you have any questions?
It's a trifecta here, guys. You find the spot, we start asking the questions, see if anything pops up in the box, and I'll see if I see any darkness.
How did you make your billions, Eliza? What was it that you produced or manufactured?
That's a loud bird.
Press card.
You ask. It's
I'm trying to
okay.
think. I don't remember who told us this one.
Is it laying on the ground?
If her husband passed, I don't remember that one.
Well, he did.
I mean, like near when she passed or before.
Oh, I don't know.
Like if it was a whole ordeal.
Oh.
Let's don't ask about stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
we don't wanna
personal,
get
and
too personal.
yeah. So let's just
Have you
ask.
asked her kids' names?
Or who said not to go too personal?
That's not true.
Let's don't pry too much about the
Yeah.
kids and the family.
I know, because he told us that was some questions that we could ask. That's why I'm asking.
I just asked her how many children she had.
Oh.
What year were you born, Eliza? And what year did you pass on?
My phone's in my backpack, so I'm gonna take it off.
Is there anything you would like to tell us? Anything that you want to get across that might be frustrating for you? Some kind of message, some kind of something, so that it's not maybe all about us. She takes off, doesn't she?
Were you when you passed on? Or if you led a long and fulfilling life?
Yeah, it's just like
Going off pretty
You
good.
were a lovely lady.
Okay, if you're here, can you step away from us so this thing stops flashing?
it's not like
Just no, you don't move, Mia.
I know, because Mom's device keeps.
Yeah. Can you step away and make this light stop lighting up?
She wants to talk to us.
Well, that's okay. She can
Yeah,
come
she's
back.
staying.
I just want to see if the light will go away for a few seconds and then come back on.
Dive.
What is it?
Dive.
Oceans.
Is that what you thought of the Irish bar when it was a dive?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a term they used back then, but that means a junkie place.
Yeah. It was junky, Eliza.
Educate her on 20th
Well,
century
she may
slang.
know. I don't
You
know.
didn't appreciate them building that. Where your beautiful mansion used
Well,
to
we're
be.
standing right, yeah, where the wall is at, so.
Yeah, it just keeps on. It's like it's constant. And a minute ago, before you guys were over there,
Your thing went up really high there for a second, too.
Oh, was there a fire? Oh, your mansion.
Did it burn down?
There was a tragedy. to
Well,
your
don't
mansion.
talk about that. Let's don't talk about that.
She might be trying to tell us fire.
maybe she liked just sitting by the fireplace.
That's right.
If she wants to tell us stuff, that's up to her, but let's
Yeah.
don't pry.
How did you pass? Hopefully not in a fires.
Raw.
What's the name of the guy?
Maybe
Is
the
it Zach or
the
Chris?
thing that you manufactured, you had to,
This is a good spot right
gather
here, I
it.
think.
when it was raw.
You would think it's flowers. It's
Yeah.
indigo.
Did you grow the indigo in your garden?
Well, let's stick on the, I don't know, I feel like the bar subject matter is maybe,
Yeah, because she was.
we're standing next to the bar.
It was going off. Your words were getting.
If you want to keep talking about the bar, if that's what that is, we're near it. Yeah.
We are near the
We're
bar.
right against the wall here for it.
Or you're near to us. Maybe she's
Do you know what the name of the owner of the bar was? Well, will you tell us the name of the owner of the bar? Sorry. We're supposed to avoid yes or no questions.
She was just saying she's near to us.
Oh yeah, but like when you guys were over there,
If you're talking to us, we do appreciate it.
Thank you for spending some time with us. We just wanted to get to know more about you.
she's close.
Can you tell us anything about the bar that we're near, the wall we're near?
How we doing?
maybe something. We kept talking about the bar, and we got near, and raw and heat.
Oh, guess what?
What?
You have Eliza's maiden name on there.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's
too.
what we
Yeah.
were thinking too.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Lucas.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask. She just told me.
Somebody else might have been asking.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
Again, Eliza's going to try to find anything she can tell about herself since we're poking questions about her. So
Okay.
I'm excited about Lucas because
Yeah.
that's very specific.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else to go along with that because
Right.
it is so specific.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if we get the other Eliza's maiden name,
Okay.
that would be very interesting.
Okay. I will ask.
But we're only going to spend another minute or two here.
Okay.
You got near. You guys were asking
Yeah.
about the bar. What
We
were you
were
asking?
leaning
Saying
against
about
the wall. We were asking if she, what were we asking? If she didn't like the bar and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, 'cause
and,
it was
and
Irish.
we were asking about the bar, and it came up with near.
And dive, and we're like, did
Yeah,
you think
she
it was
dive.
a dive?
Yeah, we're like, is that the term you used back then?
1700s, yeah, she was an
Yeah, I was like, that means junky for us, or sleazy, and then,
Okay,
then
you
it
have
said
that
near.
conversation. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I do want to show you the evidence from here. I forgot to show you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got because they had questions about their spirit boxes, so just leave a little bit further explanation, which is perfectly normal. Those are not. That's the hardest job here. Those two spirit boxes that make noise, because
Yeah.
your ear isn't trained to listen to white noise like that.
Right. Hopefully she's answering some of our questions over there.
So this actually occurred up in that top right-hand corner.
Uh-huh.
So that obviously is the wall. I'm sure you recognize
Mhm.
it. See the two living people walking past it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys all see them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna find the two dead people.
Oh,
They're gonna be going
geez.
the opposite way, right past the wall.
Oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
I see it.
And that guy right there was in view the whole time. So that tool that you're using is actually used by firemen and mechanics, like on their regular day job. When I
Okay.
get them on the tour, they're like, "Can I get a copy of that?" I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Yes."
Yeah.
Can we Zoom call over it? Like,
Yeah.
and we've analyzed it frame by frame, and every
Okay.
person is, solidified that this is because you could see two heads like
Yeah,
this
right.
when you look at it.
Right.
Can I see that again? One more time?
Yep.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I left the two heads going past as a reference,
Mm-hmm.
and of course somebody in view. They're all the same color.
Uh-huh.
I fast forward,
There they go.
and we've tested it to make sure it's not a vehicle.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
along those, because it could
Yeah.
be, but it's too far away.
Okay.
Even tall vehicles are going to be too far away
Okay.
for that kind of angle. And again, that's posted. Like, it's not like something I just keep on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hide anything. So even on your guys' data, lucky for you guys, we're nearing the end of the month, because I always put the newest tour at the top,
Uh-huh.
and then it just moves its way down, and then it goes by month. So obviously, what is the date today? 26, 27?
27.
Yeah.
27. So we're nearing the end of the month. I don't tour on Mondays, so we technically have, 2 tours left. So worst case scenario, you're only going to be 3 sets of data down.
Uh-huh.
So again, you guys are always going to be near the top of your page, which
Yeah,
is nice.
that is
But-
nice.
Display.
Oh, on
They just popped
display,
up.
you display us on the top of your page.
Display data. I don't
She
know.
doesn't know what the hell a website is. Nice try.
Yeah.
She might surf the web. You don't know.
Right? Just chilling, wearing indigo dresses and whatnot.
That's right. Alrighty.
Well, apparently we're going to be leaving here in another minute or so, Eliza. If there's anything else you want to tell us, I
Hopefully
guess
you-
now would be the time.
Yeah, hopefully you were able to have your answers.
We got your name, so that's good.
Yeah, there was another Eliza. Charles's other wife. What was her last name?
We hate to ask about a
Yeah.
previous ex, but
Yeah.
do you
Be a
know what?
touchy subject.
Do you want to tell us what her maiden name was, or can you tell us what her maiden name was? And sorry again if that's touchy.
Maybe if it is touchy, yeah, we mean no disrespect. Oh, Mount Pleasant. Did you say it was Mount Pleasant? Okay, I got Mount.
Somebody here is happy or anything relatable to Pleasant. Let's see how quick it is. Alright. So, I'm excited about a few things. First off, we got the word big when we were over there, which is relatable to Big John. So I'm going to be listening for the word John or Big John's jersey number. And those numbers are 20 and 52. We started off with the number 20 in 1947 and then moved to the number 52 in 1948. We have Eliza's maiden name that showed up. Tell us what it is.
Lucas.
Lucas is on your word list. something that specific, I'm not going to wait for anything else to solidify it. That's obviously, we're standing in the middle of Eliza Lucas Pinckney's home. Like, that's pretty solid. We did hear 9191. That's close to the numbers I would listen for, because Eliza died in 1793. Okay, so again, we'll see if something else relatable comes up along those lines. You also heard land down under, and what was the other term?
Graceland.
Graceland. So Graceland, there's no grace. So when I'm listening, when you guys tell me,
You heard land twice. I mean,
We're on
if
it,
Graceland and then land.
so with the spirit boxes being slowed down, think of Christmas time. What color is the barn? I'll get Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the Nosed Reindeer. I just need reds. It's going to pick up words before and after the things that they're actually trying to portray. So again, that's why when you guys said Graceland, my first instinct went to Grace. There's no Grace that I can think of. Of course, I don't know the daughter's middle name, so maybe I'll dive into that and see if there was a Grace. But that's very possible. We'll see what happens. The answers to the question I gave you, what do you guys
We just got bad. Operation and bad.
Bad operation?
Maybe.
And we were over here and we got blue, and it sounded like 6 or 60.
You guys are so close. So, I can't lie. Yeah, 60! No, sorry. You can Google that. But the answers that we have, blue is obvious. Oh, also they had some REM pod movement, went up to the blue light as they were asking about indigo.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That could
So-
be blue.
So it is a circumstantial piece of evidence, but still circumstantial like what we see it. It's going on. So that will be in your notes for sure. Because these are things I have to remember, especially from the two of you. You guys have the two non-recordable devices. Everybody else has something recordable, except for you.
Yeah.
So, answers. What are you guys most curious about out of the questions that I gave you? Not sure? I'll give them all. So,
Did she have a bad eye
have a-
operation?
We just had eye pop up too.
Yeah.
So what did happen to the mansion?
Yeah.
okay, we'll start there. The mansion caught fire.
Heat.
And I had the
We
word
got the word
heat.
heat
Okay.
earlier.
So it sounds like our word list was where everything was kind of warning to, so we'll kind of see if you guys have the subsidiary stuff. That was in the Great Fire of 1861. So you guys, like I said, were close.
Wow.
So when I say a Great Fire of 1861, every tour guide in Charleston talks about a Great Fire of whatever year it happened. This one just happened to go from Peninsula Coast to Peninsula Coast. The building was just in the way. The only pictures we have of the Pinckney Mansion are after the fire. So you guys will see that tomorrow when I give you the links back. Obviously, you're going to get plenty of links back to the Pinckney Mansion stuff so we can solidify this stuff. Let's go into Eliza's death. She died at the age of 70. You now know the year, 1793. So, guesses on the president that was the pallbearer, now that you know what year she died?
1793. Is it in Adams?
No. Okay, it was Washington.
Wow.
Wow.
George Washington carried her to her grave. Now, George Washington is a lot to spit out on a spirit box and in a word list. Have I had George Washington come out? Yeah, I didn't even know that fact. I learned that from doing the tours because I had it twice in 1 week. Why the hell would they say George Washington on a radio station unless I was meant to hear it twice in 1 week? Have I
It
also
just
heard
popped
it?
up with Christmas. You were mentioning Christmas earlier.
Eliza, birthday, December. So, ooh, you're getting some good stuff over there. I'm excited. She wants to chat. So the words are on Washington, and I've even gotten Denzel Washington. First off, why the hell are we talking about Denzel Washington? He doesn't have a movie out in a decade. Unless I was meant to hear Washington. Remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I don't need Denzel. I just need Washington. And that was a direct answer. Who was the president, or who was the pallbearer at your funeral? Denzel Washington. That's it when he was in meeting. And I was there for it. I was like, oh shit, that's good stuff. You got it. But we also get like Martha, wood, cherry, apple. So why would I get wood? Let's do another quiz question.
Teeth.
It's teeth. Good job.
Yeah,
So
Martha
the
was
myth
his
of
wife.
He had wooden dentures.
Cherry tree.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a 50-50 myth. I do believe in it because I have proof. And I do get that word here often. By the way, I kind of did a little brainwashing on you guys. You didn't even realize it. I did tell you I'm not going to give you a question of what color is George Washington's white horse. And you all passed. Good job. So nobody came up with it on their own. That's why I wait for the wrong answer. Good job. So let's see where. her death herself. So 1793 in Philadelphia from breast cancer.
Oh.
Think about that year for a second. There's no such thing as cancer yet.
I heard Philadelphia over there.
Oh,
From my,
that's pretty badass because Philadelphia comes up a lot.
I heard Church of Philadelphia.
Yeah, shit. Are you serious?
Yeah. I heard Church of Philadelphia.
Wait till we get to that location. Keep that one in the back of your head.
Okay.
That's really cool. So, breast cancer, we're going off her medical records. So, 9 out of 10 websites will tell you it was breast cancer. So, again, that's a big deal here, too. The kids, we'll kind of get into that. There were 4 of them. 3 boys, 1 girl. You guys already know Charles. Then we had Thomas, who fought in the Battle of Camden and lost his leg, shattered a kneecap. So I wait for things around Thomas and his kneecap. I've even had the word battle in Camden show up here. That's how I learned about that. Then we had little baby George that she lost. There's no headstone, there's no grave for George. We don't know if the baby was days or weeks old because the birth certificate and the death certificate are the same month and year. Now, George was named after Eliza's father. What's Eliza's maiden name?
Lucas.
So what's her father's name?
George Lucas.
Nice. So George Lucas. That one's easy to remember.
Awesome.
Right. I'm a movie buff. You guys are going to catch on to that real quick. Surprised I haven't given you other movie lines or my phone going off with my wife. So by the way, you guys will, this is totally off topic. You guys will super impress me because you guys are a fun group. If you could tell me where this line comes from. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
I feel like it's from The Princess Bride.
Bingo!
Good
Good job.
Yeah.
So that's the ringtone for my wife calling me. Because she comes out and she goes, I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
Yeah.
And it scares the hell out of everybody, even when I'm like out shopping and getting gas. Everyone's like, what the hell was that? I'm like, it's my wife, it's cool. But anyway, she thinks it's hysterical, so that's the only reason why I do it. But anyway, where were we? Talking about history stuff, not historical movies.
George Lucas.
George Lucas. So that gives me 3 Georges, right? We have 2 Elizas, 3 Charleses, and now 3 Georges. So I always have to have that extra piece of evidence.
Oh,
telling me
that
about
actually
which
comes up with something. He asked how many wives did her husband have, and it said 2. That I forgot that it did that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh, the ages. We didn't do the ages of when they got married, so I think good thing you brought that up. And that's actually pretty awesome. I'm not discounting it because that's that's solid stuff. But you just reminded me she was 22 when she got married. He was 45.
Sorry, that was
me. I moved it.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so from here, guys, we are going to go up to Lodge Alley. Should I just stop the recording? Yep. So we're going to go to Lodge Alley. It's about 3 blocks away. Again, we're going to legitimately haunted locations. And you're in Charleston. You need to see some cobblestone. So here's what's going to happen from here. Spirit boxes, you can listen along the way. You're listening for names. I'm not going to tell you what gender or what those names mean until we get there and see if you guys actually get any. So that would be the 2 of you. The rest of you, if you want to chat, your EMF meters are going to go off because of the parking meters along East Bay Street. You can pretty much ignore them. Obviously, if we keep getting words, that'll be great. Lodge Alley is a quiet area and it is a Sunday, so we're definitely going to be turning those spirit boxes down once we reach Lodge Alley. So we're going to be in between a restaurant and a hotel. I don't like to break rules. Again, I already got fingers being pointed and spotlights on Nick. I get enough activity. From there, that'll be a brief stop, so we'll it just gives you a better layout of the land of where you're actually at. From there, we're going to go learn some legends and lore about Charleston. Do I expect any activity from it? We'll see. It's a 50-50 crapshoot. It's just really cool stories that, especially in that location because there's so many things going on. And then we're going to do one last final investigation as big as this one at the Powder Magazine looking for a female pirate.
Oh,
so,
cool.
hell yeah.
So, and I'll be honest, that story in particular, I didn't even believe it until about 6 months ago when I started giving that part of the tour because I got kicked out of one particular alley called Philadelphia Alley near Church Street.
Oh,
So,
wow.
again, yeah. So Philadelphia Alley is really cool, and I do tell the story still. So we'll kind of, and I still get activity from it as I'm telling the story. It's just around the corner, so nobody can see me. So we're gonna kind of get into that. But I like to give you guys like what you're actually in for and how much activity am I expecting. This was a lot for this location. I won't lie. Like it's above normal. So I'm not going to say it's like, oh, super stoked. Eliza came out and told us, you know, her blood type. You know, it's not going to go that crazy, but it is definitely above normal for the amount of terms that we have, which leads me to believe that there's more. You guys had 2. You had indigo or things related to indigo, so this is all relatable stuff.
Okay.
I think, like, I mean, you could continue using that if you want to. You don't have to hold it up.
I just took it down to rest my arm.
Sure.
But I turned off everything.
Okay. Yeah, because we're going to record lastly at the Power Magazine.
Okay.
But I do want to get a little bit of footage if we can get close to that cemetery that's up there. Also, keep in mind the name of the tour is called Stories in a Cemetery. That's because you're walking through one giant one. When you're dead and gone, you're not going to hang out where you're buried. You're going to come down from Philadelphia to the mansion that you lived in.
Right.
She's buried up there. That's why we don't walk through cemeteries, because this is a giant tragedy place all over. So again, a lot of people ask me that along the way. I just thought I would preempt it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go up this way.
Thank you, Eliza. It was good talking to you. Guess we better keep up. Sorry, I'm trying to film things as I go.
Just so I don't fall down.
I got you, baby. I'm gonna let you fall down. Come here, sweetness.
Thank you, Eliza, for speaking with us.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Alright. Okay, yeah, we need to keep up with our child, too.
Yeah.
Come on, Eliza, you can go with us.
Yeah, come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. I don't know what that is. Ooh, candy.
Yeah, there's a few. We went.
Oh, yeah. Are we eating there? It's about 2:25? No, it's... Eliza, you're funny.
Director.
George Lucas, we were talking about.
I was like, why are you guys laughing at the eyes on me? Sorry, I feel left out. Sorry, Eliza.
Okay, what's next?
When you told us the name Eliza, all I could think of was Eliza and Peggy.
Yeah.
It's gonna do it. It'll be great.
Must.
And Peggy.
Oh, you weren't there for the beginning when you were parking the car. We have to walk back to our car.
Yeah, I know.
The Torian's way up here somewhere, and we just have to go back to our car.
Yeah, that's okay. Good. Good exercise.
It's kind of cool. We can see shops and stuff, though. Yeah.
Oh.
Says, oh.
I know it all, right?
Yeah, we got to walk all the way back to the car. I know, right?
And with COVID, everything was super early.
Because we're like antisocial people.
Oh! She's so surprised.
Well, we were talking about walking back to the car. She's like, oh.
She's like, oh, that must hurt.
why I wore my tennis shoes.
Smart girl.
I always wear my tennis shoes. You need to get over it.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah, let's not knock anybody down.
Air. That might be from the fire. Or because it's hot.
Well, it's warm air tonight. It is kind of, well, we got a nice breeze though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little warmer than where we come from though.
Yeah.
We came, yeah. We used to being a little chillier.
Ooh, spooky alleyway.
Yeah, this is probably good
Harry
for the
Potter.
kids. Let's see much.
What did you do in Charleston? You walk down and dark alley.
You walked down a dark alley and almost got murdered. Yeah. What you usually do. These steps are really fall, break my fall.
Yeah, or the radio station probably. Oh yeah. Pick up the radio station.
Mine is just, oh.
Right. Yeah, right. You was trying to walk on the.
Whoa. Right.
Right. It's like a whole hustle. Right. Right.
All right. Thank you for keeping up. We spent a lot of time thinking of management sites, so I'm going to really kind of keep this one brief. First off, did we hear any names? I know we were chatting, so we didn't really get a chance. We heard a couple of things. Did you hear any names, Josh?
No.
Did we get any names on your list?
We just got director because we were talking about George Lucas.
It was going crazy.
It's going to.
Yeah, even this part.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
heard
at
Austin.
that point, we're going to go ahead and shut that REM part off because we're going to be cutting through a neighborhood after this. So very quickly, when we went through that last crosswalk, we were now inside the original Charlestown walls. So Charleston used to be Charlestown. It was a walled city. You guys have been here for at least a day. You probably heard that term. But the wall went up Cumberland Street, which we're going to go back to. This, where we're at right now, was one of the very first streets we ever had. People used to live here. I have the resident names of every person that's ever lived here and their occupation. So that's why I listen for names. The names I normally get, Benjamin and John. They both lived here in 1801. 2 out of 5 people, and I probably get that, I'd say once every 5 to 7 weeks, where those 2 names show up together. If I don't get John himself, his last name will show up, which is Johnson. John Johnson.
Very creative.
And I'll give you guys funny names to remember. But this place is really crazy. I get light anomalies down here because normally I have a digital camera with lasers and we take pictures and all kinds of crazy mess. We don't take the laser pictures in here, but we do take regular digital pictures just to see what pops up. But this was also where the Masonic Lodge was. That's why it's called Lodge Alley. So again, where you guys are leaned on is called Lodge Alley Inn. Every hotel has a claim of a ghost down here. Next summer, after I finish the master's degree, the wife and I are going to be doing a tour to all of the haunted rooms to see how legit they are, so I have extra podcast episodes. So if you're curious about that, we're going to start that next summer. I have a new co-host that starts with me in September for the show, so there'll be hour-long episodes instead of 30 minutes. So if you're interested in your podcast listeners, by all means, same name. That's actually how all this started, Stories of the Cemetery. Done
So you
boasting
have a
my
podcast.
extra
We missed
work.
that part. You have a podcast.
Yes.
Okay,
so
cool.
I probably didn't mention it because I
Yeah.
don't like to boast my other
Right.
stuff. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's all tied, and you guys are going to all see it tomorrow, and I try to keep it just to the stories.
Yeah.
So if anything
Cool.
pops up with Masonic Lodge stuff around here, or one of the names of somebody that's lived here, you'll get the link back of the full list of names and the archaeological dig that they had here. From here, we're going to cut through a neighborhood, definitely no spirit boxes, keep your REM pod off. We're going to kind of move quick again through this neighborhood because I'm not allowed to be a tour guide in a neighborhood, just to get to our next spot and show you guys Philadelphia Alley. As we're walking up Cumberland, I'll probably point. That's Philadelphia Alley. We're going to keep going 1/2 block so I can tell you that story, and then we'll go dive into the female pirate. Cool? Cool. All right. Love female pirate.
Why are you nervous? Did someone beat you?
I'm nervous too, guys. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall like my ankle. Let me put some glasses straight on. I don't know if it's all really.
We gotta go. I just didn't want you to trip on cobbles.
Ghosts? Cool. Ghosts. It's like Za.
Pause.
Oh, they have face masks and sanitizer.
What was the cause?
Cause of the fire, maybe. I don't know. She must. I don't know if Eliza's still talking.
Right.
I don't know. That's, like I said, she might not be following us. We might have a different ghost.
Oh, Eliza's pretty cool. Seemed like she was hanging with us.
Yeah. But like if they don't say names, I'm just.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like wondering if it's someone else. I don't know if there'd be any ghosts really roaming the street though. Out for a little walk.
Well, I don't know. Everybody else is roaming the street. I just don't want to.
I played. At first, I thought you said texture. Then I think you said texture, but I looked at it and I'm like, oh, it's texture.
Is there a video of it?
You'd be a dead ringer. Alright, now that that giant toy left us. So, can I say that they overpaid too? I didn't say that. So did you guys all notice the beautiful alley that we passed up? I pointed it out to the two of you. But that's Philadelphia Alley, and we're on Church Street. So there's our relation to the Church of Philadelphia. A couple of things I want to tell you along the way. I want this one to pass through. How you doing? Oh, fine. So, and you can kind of chill and have a seat too. I know the cameraman.
The camera's always rolling.
I know. So guys, just turn your heads. You don't have to get up. Look at the wall behind you. That's the wall to Philadelphia Alley. Notice the doorway in the center of it. So that alley used to be called Duelers Alley. That's where our duels would occur. So take 20 paces, turn in 2. So in the event there was a death, because not all duels ended in death, they would pick up the loser, the dead guy, and he would come through that gate, over this courtyard, over to St. Philip's Cemetery. For a pre-dug grave, they would drop the body and then go celebrate the winner. I just like to point out the death gate because nobody else does. So it's really cool. I've been on plenty of tours down here. Nobody's mentioned that. So, let's talk about the duels that we all talk about one particular duel because we can prove it. That's the cool thing about this particular story. A lot of clues in this one, so we're not going to have our spirit boxes on in real time. This will be something you listen for tomorrow morning when you get your data back. There was a doctor that moved down here from Rhode Island. Again, I'll slow down on the key words. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling that money told her to send the doctor away. He's just after your money. He moves to Charleston to prove that he's not. The coachman that brings him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. This guy's a doctor. He's dressed pretty well. It looks like he has money. So somebody walking by sees what's going on and says, you don't want to stay here. That guy's name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials from where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. So our eye shows up here a lot. Again, I wait for the extra clue to find out if it's the attorney or the state. So, never know what's going to come up. He takes him to 59 Church Street. We're on Church Street, remember? So 59 is prominent here. Gets him a room to stay. The two become friends. Now, the doctor moves up in the hierarchy. He's making lots of money. His girlfriend, fiance is moving down soon. He becomes known as the whistling doctor because he's always whistling. He's a happy guy. They go see plays together, him and Ralph. But the doctor gets better seats because of his hierarchy. Wow. I almost expected an awooga, right? So they can't sit next to each other when they go see these plays. Wow, really? That's not a happy guy.
It's also an embarrassing one.
Yeah.
What did he just do?
Like he got out of his car.
Tail him the whole way.
Huh.
That was interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome to Charleston, everybody. So, you guys know why I was worried about my new car driving down. So, stop there for a second. I went from a little tiny two-seater turbo to a giant SUV, 3 rows. Like, and I have a tiny garage here. So it was like going around the corners and oh my god. Anyway, going back to the doctor. So he can't sit next to his friend. They talk about these plays on the way home. It's kind of like going to the movie theater, but your friend makes more money than you, so they get better seats, and now they're the jerk. It's the same principle. So they go see William III on the way home. They're talking about the new actress. The doctor loves her. He thought she was fabulous. Ralph, on the other hand, he didn't care for her. They start arguing. Then it turns into an insult party on his fiancée Amanda back home. Obviously, the two get into a little argument. They get pissed and go their separate ways. Now, Ralph is from here. He's a local. He has friends at the newspaper. Calls him up. Not really. It's 1800s. But calls him up and he wants to put an ad in the paper. Telling the city of Charleston what a disgrace the doctor is. He's not from here. He charges too much. Yada, yada, yada. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dealer's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down. They take their 20 paces. They turn. The doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. However, Ralph still has his one shot. Sorry, Andy. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor doesn't die, so he doesn't come through the death gate. His friends pick him up and they carry him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out, probably doing it to himself as a doctor. So, the interesting thing about this is, at times, he's the whistling doctor. The word whistle will come through. Somebody's whistling will come through on a spirit box. This is where I would normally tell everybody to turn the spirit boxes off, and we're going to walk through to see if we actually get any whistles audibly from my recorder. I have a few I can't debunk. However, I get hecklers. Everybody, all the locals know the story. So they walk by on either side and they start whistling. You can usually tell what's a heckler and what's not. So we'll kind of see if anything comes out of that, but there was a lot of keywords. Amanda, money, attorney, all kinds of stuff comes out of it. I will also tell you that the doctor wrote poetry about his time in Charleston while he was here. That book was published by his sister Elizabeth after his death. So if we get anything related to writing, pen, poetry, poem, that comes up here often. So we'll kind of see what's going on there.
He seems like such a nice guy. He writes poems.
I know, right?
Charleston.
Refused to shoot his friend.
Yeah, he refused to shoot his friend. So you missed that whole point. That says his character right there.
Yeah.
The reason why every ghost tour stops at that particular church, I'll tell you this briefly, and then we'll go do our investigation over there. I want to make sure you guys have time over there, because it's a good one. There's a sign right inside the cemetery. It says there's no ghost at St. Philip's besides the Holy Ghost. So the reason for that is in 1888, a young lady died. Her name was Sue Howard Hardy, 6 days after her stillborn child. 1987, 99 years later, we have a local photographer in town writing a book, putting photos together of our cemeteries. He captures a full apparition of a woman wearing a shawl and a baby basket next to her. It's 1987. We don't have Photoshop and cell phones and the technology we have, so he has to send it to Kodak to try to get it debunked. They can't debunk the picture either. Now, the picture for guys like me, this is gold. Like, it is primo stuff. Females that handle the picture, even on your cell phones, you're going to get the same symptoms like what I told you about at Big John's. That's why I don't show the picture. Pregnant females, just based on the gist of the story, it's not going to go well. So,
What's the name of the photograph?
So in the event we actually have something to kind of evidence that comes out of it, I will give a link, but there will also be a heated warning about the link for the picture. Well, he can look at it and show it to you from his phone. You just can't handle it.
Okay.
That's the person that's on. So as you can imagine, with my application, I'm pretty superstitious. So that's why I don't show it. These other guys, they're showing the picture. Like they're handing around their phone. And I'm like, that's too late. So again, scripted tour guides. You can see it's getting very busy around this corner. This is a very popular spot. There's literally like 15 stories here. Like I can go on and on and on and on. But we're gonna let these two people talk, and I'll point out one last thing before we go across the street. I don't know if you guys can see it because there's a roof in the way, but off in the distance there's a burning gas lamp. Did you guys see that over there? Yeah. That's the pirate house. So.
I thought it was flying. Is either flying or flying?
The pirate house is where Blackbeard's men would come off their ship and they would have a few drinks, meet with a few ladies, have a place to sleep. Now, Blackbeard never set foot on Charleston soil, so don't even think that his treasure's buried here. You North Carolinians already know it's up in your state. It's not here. So, the cool thing about the pirate house, though, is that the pirates that were there, they actually dug a tunnel from the pirate house 1 block over to Dock Street Theater, one of the top 10 haunted locations in America. Do I have evidence of that? No. I've been in it dozens of times. I get a couple of spikes here and there, no relative spirit box data. I have new gadgetry now that I'd love to test out, so we'll see what happens over the next summer, as I obviously finish up school. So, I just wanted to get your minds on pirates, so that way we can get into this next story, because it's a doozy. There's a lot of twists and turns. Welcome to level 3. Let's go across the street.
It's getting muggy, getting humid. Charleston muggy.
Oh, I'm so excited for the pirate. Love pirates.
Thank you.
Pirates.
I know, right? All right. Did you find it? Oh my god. Are you an owl? I got jokes, guys. Stick around. So, we're going to be talking about the building over there with the crosses on it. Those aren't crosses, first off. Those are earthquake bolts. I told you guys earlier about the big earthquake scare we had in 1886. Yeah. Earthquake bolts. There's no West Coasters here. Good. Nobody can...
I'm from the West Coast.
Oh, you're original.
Yeah.
So that's right. So you know where earthquake bolts are?
Yeah.
Okay. You mind if I explain it to them?
Yeah.
Okay. So earthquake bolts, the gist of it is that they are turnbuckles, either through the roof or through the floor of buildings. In the event a building gets quaked again, you turn the turnbuckles and it straightens the building back up again. Does that make sense? Oh, wow. It doesn't work. So I talked to plenty of West Coasters and I've said, does it really work? And they're like, yeah, no. So let's talk about something else that doesn't work, that is about the concept of this building. This is the gunpowder magazine. This is the oldest government building on the East Coast. Government, not housing. Remember, I got older buildings in Charleston. Government building. So, walled city, this is Cumberland. This is where the wall was. It literally went half a block past the powder magazine and started going south towards the battery. It's literally tucked into the corner of the wall, okay? It's 3 blocks away. They put it the furthest piece away because if a cannon actually attacks it, those are 32-inch thick walls. It's going to have a hard time getting through it at this distance. But let's say it does. It blows up the gunpowder. There's sand in the roof from 1712, the year before it was finished, to blow the sand up, and the sand was put in there so that it would fall and put out the fire. Really cool idea, right? That shit don't work either. We had another powder magazine closer to the obviously the edge of the peninsula towards Battery, and the sand went up and was unable to put out the fire, and the whole thing burned to the ground. This one was obviously never attacked, but yet it served in 7 different wars. So, it is a museum now. It's a great $5 ticket to go spend 30 minutes in there and see all the uniforms from all the different wars that it served in. Really cool little place. So, and I'm not an affiliate with them. I'm a season pass holder because they have great books in there that I can't get on Amazon quickly. So anyway, why are we talking about this building and pirates? Because during the time that this thing was built, 1703 to 1713, is when our story begins, right in the middle, 1708. We have a young lady, follow me, this is where it gets weird. Young lady moves here. Her name's Anne Cormack. She moves here with her dad and his mistress, who happens to be her mom. You guys with me on that one so far?
Yes.
Okay. The 3 of them are getting away from his wife.
Okay.
This is 1708.
Wow.
How pissed off was that wife that they had to move halfway across the world by boat to get away from her? She's pretty scorned. Okay? Alright, so now they're in Charleston. She sees the building being finished. Obviously, she becomes a teenager. 1714, 1715, pirates are coming through town. Notice I'm giving you very generalized years. There's a lot of holes in this story. You can ask anything you want to in this lot once I'm done. So this is level 3. Go for it. So pirates are coming through town. She's very excited because Anne's already kind of badass as it is. Rumor has it that she killed one of her servants when she was a child.
Wow.
So like stabbed in the gut kind of thing. Like just made her mad. Brought her the wrong peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. She stabbed her. But anyway, sorry, jokes. So she falls in love with this guy named James Bonney. Dad doesn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. So what do? They move to Jamaica. Get married. Anne Cormack is now Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. This guy that she married was not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. So she, well, basically, in a nutshell, he's a coward. He's a privateer, which makes him a British spy. He's spying on his own men and reporting back to the British. This is not what she wanted. So she falls in love again. This guy's name is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. Ironic enough, Jack Sparrow. But Calico Jack is much younger, has his own ship. He's called Calico Jack because he dresses very dapper from the men he kills. He wears their coats. That's why he's called Calico Jack. But she wants to be part of his ship. Well, let's face it, females curse pirate ships. You can't have a girl as a pirate. So he says, you could be on my crew, but you're going to dress like a guy. She's like, whatever, let's do this. Why is she okay with this? Because Dad used to dress her up like a boy to hide her away from his wife. And he was an apprentice at his attorney office. So she's okay with this cross-dressing bit. She's like, whatever, I just want to be a pirate. Let's do this. So she gets on the ship, and she's allowed to be a female in his quarters. Of course, he's the captain. So being a female in his quarters, she eventually gets pregnant. Can't have a pregnant dude on the ship. So what's he do? He drops her off in Cuba with friends, go have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out. So when she comes back, there's no baby. We have no idea what happened to that child. That's at will. She's also dressed like a female. She doesn't give a damn anymore. This makes Jack pretty mad. But he also just captured another pirate crew that is enslaved down below deck. She's going to go down and flirt with these guys and make Jack even more jealous. So she goes down, she's flirting with this guy. He reveals his gender to be a female, pretending to be a male on another pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. I dare any of you to say that 5 times fast. But yeah, so this lady's name, her name is Mary Read. So you'll hear that. You can't get Anne Bonny without Mary Read. The story goes hand in hand. Mary Read becomes part of the crew under Anne's recommendation, and now we have 2 female pirates dressed as females on the crew. The British fleet finds out where they are and they roll in. All the other men are too drunk down below deck, watching over the captives that they have from the other pirate crew, and it's literally Anne Bonny and Mary Read fighting off this entire British fleet, aka multiple ships. Obviously the ship gets taken, Calico Jack included. The last words to Calico Jack from Anne Bonny were, "You should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog." So, dog usually shows up here quite a bit, so we'll see what happens. So the judge, he wants to see the 2 men that fought back by themselves. All the other pirates get tried and hung pretty quickly. About a week later, Anne Bonny and Mary Read go in front of Chief Justice Nicholas Laws. So when you hear my name, it's not me, it's the judge. He wants to see them separately. They reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates. He's going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was their last lines to him. She basically said, "We're both pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman." So he said, "Fine, we'll delay your hanging. Send them both back to jail." So they go back to jail. Dad is still here in Charleston. He has his Irish money. He bails Anne Bonny out, brings her back home. She remarries again. That's guy number 4, in case you lost tally. We're counting Mary Read as guy number 3. So she remarries again, has 4 kids, and dies at the age of 84.
Wow.
Why we have such specific details and nothing else, I don't know. But those are the common facts that I found among the, I don't know how many books I've read on that woman.
What happened to Mary Read?
That's my next bit. Mary Read, pirate, died in a Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail a year later.
Oh.
So, the one thing I'm going to give you extra for questioning is the date of their trial. It was November 28th, 1720. Why do I remember that date so specifically? November 28th, 2020 was the day I started giving this part of the tour. I had the number 300 come up. That would have been the 300th anniversary. And I've also had the word trial in the same night. So that convinced me, because I didn't believe this story before. 2 things I did not give you. I did not give you the name of Anne Bonny's parents, other than the father's last name, and I did not give you the name of Calico Jack's ship. So, we are going to stay along the side of the powder magazine. We're not going to interrupt other tours. Cameramen, if you want to turn on and go to the front, you can. Don't interrupt other tours. Try to get your cameras on the inside of the wrought iron gate. Just don't drop them. So, again, it's one of those, like we just said, a lot of people like get the outside of it, and I'm noticing I'm not getting a whole lot because the wrought iron gate is holding so much heat, it's blurring everything else out. On your end, it's the same thing. If you want to put your arm in between there where you can get the camera in there, we're not bothering anybody. Nobody's in there, as long as we don't keep because tours like to stop in front, but the rest of the spirit boxes, we're going to probably hang out here on the side and see what we can capture on this end. EMFs, this is a dead zone. If you capture something, that usually means something else is going off somewhere, so you definitely have to alert me. It's not the Pinckney Mansion site. So your camera likes to give me glitches in here and likes to react on other pieces. I've seen film on that twice now where you're filming somebody with a spirit box and it dies. And then it comes back on. It's weird. And I've seen it twice, and there was a white film over that particular person. So it wasn't like you're just filming me and I'm holding a spirit box and my spirit box dies. There was a white film over me, nothing over the person next to me, and my spirit box died. I walk away out of view of the camera, and it starts back up again on record. Like, I've seen it twice. It's the strangest thing. So.
Do you want me to do the...
Yes.
Go
Again.
ahead, turn it on now.
Yeah, you can. Definitely, you can already see your recording. Spirit boxes, we don't want to be super loud here because those are apartment buildings. Gotta keep that in mind. Alright, let's do this.
Right here, guys.
Sir, I'm not testing.
We'll show all that stuff to him.
No, I just.
I may have to break away from you guys. Apparently, I'm going to go film the front of the.
He said this was a dead zone, so I'm not gonna have.
No, he means it's a dead zone for electricity and stuff. So if something's going off on there, it's going to be something different. It's not electricity.
I don't want to insult somebody by being too close to them. So,
That's cool.
I know.
I was going to put it in the fence,
Yeah.
like you said. So. You got any new words?
Yeah.
What you got?
I got chain, truth, luck. Like these were popping up while he was talking about the story. So I feel like I
You got
don't know
any-
if I should go back over
Only
there.
up here in this area. It goes away. Goes away over here. It's just right here in the air.
Yeah, but it's steady, so that's something electrical. It's not flashing.
Yeah, that's why it's in
So
the
you're
air
picking
too.
up. Yeah, you're picking up something. That's probably the power lines right there. Or something. We actually have some from a while back too. When we were in that first alley, we got
Century a couple times.
nervous and beat and cause, and then we got over. This was kind of on the way to you, and then while we were sitting over in front of the graveyard and stuff, we started to get all the way up through Century, I think.
And all of these popped up while you were talking about the hand binding.
Can you like this up to orange, like you just did?
Nothing. We just got the word surgery on the red spirit box,
Mhm.
like plain as day. That would be relatable to the doctor. And it's
Okay.
right there.
Yeah, and I had
So-
operation though, but that was when we
Yeah,
were...
that was pretty far
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You did mention them being prisoners. There's chain. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely would have been chains involved.
Yep.
And it's kind of flimsy, but something.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to let that thing go off.
Again, this is a dead zone, and that to me is a rhythm. Because it's steady, you're really close to all of this power line
Yeah,
stuff
we
over
go
here.
over here.
So the other thing too, that on the other side of that, wall you guys see, that's the other side of St. Philip Cemetery. That side over there is for native Charlestonians only. This is for everybody else. John Calhoun is actually buried on this side. They moved his sarcophagus several times trying to figure out where the hell he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you can visit this side, the everybody else side, during the daytime.
Oh,
You can
okay.
walk right through it.
Oh, okay.
They want the Calhoun to be accessible.
Right.
But they've been working on some of the older tombstones over there for over a year. I'd say a year and a half at this
Wow.
point. I haven't walked that since I moved here 5 years ago. So, how long are you guys in town for?
A few days.
Till Wednesday.
I'm just curious, how many other tours do you guys have booked?
Just this.
Just this one.
Really?
Yes.
We're trying to do a lot of everything. Go to the Patriots Point, the aquarium. This we had
To the beach.
beach. We're near the beach. We had kind of a personal thing. She had cancer, but she beat it, thankfully.
good for
But
you.
Yeah, thanks.
It's awesome.
It's been a month now.
we were all kind of
Yeah.
screwed up about it. So
Yeah.
we've always liked the ghost stuff. We're like, it's you start to think about death a lot when that kind of
Yeah.
stuff happens. So
Well, and
we
my
just
brother passed away last August.
yeah.
So I was kind of hoping that I could.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we have
don't know
a
it's
sort of
gonna
a
come up out
vested
of the other
interest.
one either.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be really cool if words. He he tried to talk to us. That'd be cool.
Again,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. But yeah.
And I'm glad you didn't tell me along the way, because I would have been like, hey, what was his name? What was his birthday? That,
Yeah.
You know how I don't give you those suggestive thoughts?
Yeah,
It's,
right.
it's the same principle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So,
So we were hoping.
so I'm guessing there's no skeptics in this group.
I'm not. At least I'm not. I don't know about you guys.
No.
No.
Okay. I didn't think there was. You seemed like you were super in tune to every story I had. Like you were hanging on to every word.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm that good.
Very interesting. We were really excited, when we were looking up ghost tours.
Have you guys been on other ghost tours before?
It's been a really long time.
I haven't been.
This is
Well,
our
you were
first-
before you were born.
Yeah.
This is when your
when
sister
our-
Cool,
was
whatever.
Yeah, when our
This
oldest
is gonna
daughter.
set the bar. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna tell you, because if they've taken tours in the past, they haven't changed.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really just kind of walk around.
Because that's the
talking
one
about
we've
stuff, is all
taken,
it
because
is.
we were
Yeah.
at that church. I remember being up at that church and standing there. That's the one we took. Yeah. It's Billy Crystal and
I don't remember who it was.
she's the old lady in Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you're
Kane.
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Carol-
You're
I
right.
can't remember her name.
Carol Kane? No.
What do you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Bad Girl.
Yep, that would have been her.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of Fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard
I'm loving it.
Red. And what was the other one that I told you just a second? It was
Marker.
Red and something down under, or something go under.
oh yeah, Under.
She's had under come up twice now.
Yeah,
But
Century
yeah,
come up twice.
I'm definitely excited about that girl.
Sting.
Like, that
Yeah.
was her reputation.
We just had
Yeah.
Marker pop
Did
up.
you hear Anna Don't Stay? Is that what you said?
You heard that.
It might have been Ann Don't Stay, but
That would be cool too.
That wasn't that clear.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see what these guys are getting over here. How are we doing on yours?
It's a British back there.
British?
Oh, wow.
This is lit up to yellow a few
Spoon?
times.
I heard you talking.
Yeah.
Baby shark.
I told it, I said this, and it actually like stepped away. It stopped it when I told it to stop the second time.
So I use these EMF meters as kind of a communication device too, especially hers with the REM pod. I'll ask it to, whoever's here, just step away from it, see if it'll go off. Because sometimes you can't get that REM pod to stop. There's a reset button to get the EMF to straighten back up again. But if you can do that and not hit the reset button, then you say, okay, now make it go to blue, make it go to purple, because there are different colors on there. The closer you get, and you kind of do a demonstration, like, hey, you want to make it go like this, and make it go all the way to blue. And I do stuff like that all the time with it on the tours. And I've gotten some response out of that, but it's not a guarantee way. All right, there's a lot of good stuff here. I want to give us a few more minutes just because there is more. And then as I collect devices, and I definitely want to get you guys a little bit more video on that particular camera. Did you guys go up front at all?
I
Yeah,
did for
I did.
a minute. I didn't say anything, but
Yeah.
I put it through the fence and kind of held
Well,
it for a while.
what's nice is you guys are going to have YouTube videos. You can throw them up on your TV if you want.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, so when my daughter's helping me with some of this stuff, I tell her, like, we have a lot of data, or it was a longer tour, can you go over the thermal imaging video for me, because she knows what she's looking for.
Yeah.
So she'll pop it up on YouTube. I'm like, it's already uploaded, just watch it on TV, and I'll go through the recordings and see what else we can come up with.
Nice.
So, and that's my youngest daughter, she's 15, and my oldest daughter used to come with me on my hobby ghost hunts, so she's older now and doing her own thing, so. But my younger daughter, when she's in town, she lives in Myrtle Beach with her mom, so she's actually on the tour helping you guys. Half this stuff used to be hers, I won't lie, because most of you know now I left the six-figure job to come do this. But when I walked away, I said, Dad needs your shit back. I got a new idea. And she's like, I just got it for my birthday. We've only used it twice. Don't care. You're going to love this. Let's go. But as you can see, like, some of this stuff has evolved from when we originally started. I originally started with that spare box, no recording, and my audio. Let's see what happens. That was as far as I went. I had 10 people out telling different stories, and now you can see there's a lot more, and I still have the lasers. I can still go with 2 more people with the lasers in the picture, so there's even more data you guys can go through. The reason why I didn't bring them out tonight, that is much more easier to get, I don't want to say easier, but much better to get real-time type evidence versus lasers that you have to wait for the next morning, and it's a 5% chance it'll actually capture it. So it's just a matter of what those lasers do. So, any other terms popping up for you?
Not really.
Previous.
Marker, spoon, sometime previous.
Tablespoon pops up here a lot.
Okay.
I don't know why. I've looked for pirate recipes. I've looked for. I've,
Is it like a poison thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
She said maybe she liked to cuddle.
Sounds like a recipe for something.
Just joking.
It does, and that's why a tablespoon. That specific term, tablespoon. I've seen it here 4 or 5 times. So that's a lot for me. Like, why am I keep getting this term? And it's not just on the list. It might show up somewhere else. So the fact that you have spoon in general means something. I just got to find out what.
Yeah.
And just standing here, this is a steady 2.3 to 2.6.
And she's also getting a steady line too, and that's because of the electrical lines behind
Okay.
us. So those are strong enough to
I just heard 99.
99.
Sir.
So
That's the
she
second time
died.
I've gotten sir.
Yeah, we've gotten Sir a couple of times. Once in the alley back there, I think, when
Oh
nervous.
no, we're sitting on the wall.
Look at that.
Sorry. I have bones on my ankles.
All right, I say let's collect some devices. You guys can ask me a million questions, and then of course I think you guys are all towards the starting point. So Andy, let's go ahead and take your device first, because it goes in the top. Of course, it wants to go off now.
No, we weren't talking.
That's what it was doing over there.
I'll take care of the buttons. Perfect. Thanks, man.
I didn't turn the top on.
Yeah.
That's my my Victorian poor news boy.
Overall, is this a good addition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Did you like my impression?
I love your impression.
Took us. My wife again is in photography and graphic design. She's the one who pieced all that together when I told her what I wanted to do. I'm like, I just need something one-handed,
cool.
so they can, operate it with one other hand.
The fact that it has the kind of, you can see in the dark without lighting up anything is cool.
Yeah. I can't
I
wait
just
to
heard
get to
behind the scenes and then Joe.
Joe?
Joe?
Let's get the phones first. Thermal imaging, because I want to keep that word list going for just another minute. All one video.